to honestly combine the perspectives of me, a director in Europe, and Pasha, the school teacher in Karabakh. This is just what came. This is what came of it. And it really does make me think, okay, what other interesting collaborations can you do? Who else can I make a film with? Because this couldn't have turned out, this turned out so unique, and it's just because it's a unique collaboration.
Привет, это я. Я работаю педагогом-организатором в Карабашской общеобразовательной школе номер 1.
Thank you so much for having me, David. It's a pleasure really meeting you because you have done a really good job with this awesome documentary that you have been recording along with Pavel. I was really, really impressed because I got this. I tell this every person that is making movies that my favorite technique on movies is documentary. It's something that is really is real, is more attached to the to our reality. In that way, I have to congratulate to give you some congratulations about this job. And this documentary has given me some questions about everything. We are having some really troubling times nowadays. And now this documentary in this time is so incendiary because I always have said that movies or cinema is a product by the context and by the time. It's time and it's context. So how you get this this opportunity to record this school, this teacher, Pavel, how do you get this opportunity to make this this work?
Well, Pasha had responded to a casting call that was on the Russian internet. There was a Russian web content company, and they were looking for stories around Russia about how workplaces were affected by the, quote unquote, special military operation in Ukraine. And so Pasha responded to this, and he responded in a way that I don't think this Russian company ever expected. He gave a very long message about how he had been turned into a propagandist, about how they were turning his school into a military recruitment ground, about how he was filled with grief and filled with shame. And so someone at this Russian web content company received this message, and of course they can't do it, but they end up sending it to some other people, and in a chain of coincidence, it ends up with me. And so Pasha and I, we start talking and we start really getting along, and I really agree with his vision about what he wants to show. I also really am interested in him as a character. And so I decided that I wanted to help him make the film.
It's awesome that what you are telling me because when I hear about a documentary, sometimes the technique is a little bit more not, I don't know if this is the right word, aggressive with the viewers who is watching the material, and this is really warm. Pavel is making some takes with his own camera, and sometimes this type of material is kind of like raw. And he's making this material more with this type of comedy, this type of improvisation, a little bit more gentle with the viewer. How was the treatment? I know that it's been hard for you guys because you are exiled in other countries for this situation. How it's been working with kids and teachers with this ideology, against this ideology, and you are with your own ideology against this main one? How is been working on this type of work?
From what perspective? Like
you,
can you
you and as a documentarist, and you working with this teacher, and how's been working against this situation that is been living in Russia?
Well, it was very difficult. The collaboration itself was filled with a lot of security issues, and like the way that we collaborated was actually quite insane when you think about it. From the very beginning, I was given advice from the security team at BBC, who was one of the co-producers on this and helped us, that I should only talk to him through encrypted app. I was told that I should only share material with him if we ever get the chance to be in person. So he was giving me material, but
Okay.
I was editing it into a project that I actually was advised to not share back with him because I was told, do you really know him? Can you ensure that he won't get so excited to see this professional film with him in it that he won't share it with people around him? And I said, no, I can't say that for sure. And so they say, well, don't send it to him then, because it's life or death. He could end up going to prison forever, especially after they passed this new treason law in Russia. So there were so many security protocol in our film that severely constrained the way that me and him could talk. So to me, what's most interesting about this collaboration with Pasha is the fact that it even happened, because it's like making a film with someone that you can't even really openly talk to. And I had no way of proving to him that I was even making the film. He didn't even watch a cut of the film until we met in person the day after his final graduation ceremony, which is the last scene in the film. So almost the whole film was made. He shot it. I edited it. He left, and then I showed it to him in person for the first time. And after he watched it for the very first time, he looked at me and he said, David, I was 50% sure this whole thing was a scam. I can't believe there's actually a film like this in front of my eyes. So that's the context in which it happened, one in which communication was almost impossible because of the very serious security problems throughout the whole process.
Okay. It's awesome what you are telling me, and I am I was shocked with the material. I've been shocked with some interviews that you've been having around the world. But I got this opportunity to watch this interview from a German festival, film festival that you got. The movie was shown right there, and Pavel was
Huh?
attending this interview. He's
Mhm.
right now out of his country, right?
Yeah, he's in Europe right now.
He's in Jersey, as you can. And how's been this situation about being followed, about being surveillance all the time for this material? How is how hard it's been for him and also for you because you are the main director, but he is the one that is shown in this documentary.
Mhm. Well, I think the hardest thing for him was leaving his hometown. That was extremely hard. And that was part of the security plan, the centerpiece of the security plan. I told you these little things about not talking to him, not sharing the cut with him, but the centerpiece of the security plan was him leaving Russia because he cannot be in Russia when this comes out. It would be a huge consequence for him, potentially in prison for life. So he left, and leaving was very difficult for him. As for his security concerns right now in Europe, I mean, it could be real. There are lots of cases of Russian dissidents and citizens being harassed by the FSB, by the Russian security services. In Europe, it's ramped up a lot in the last few years because there's been so many dissidents in Europe. However, there are many, many dissidents in Europe, and that is kind of the benefit because you can join a community and you can learn how to protect each other and you can learn best practices. As of right now, Pasha is safe and living a good life in
I
in Europe.
I suppose that I really hope that he's really really safe. You are not only a good director, not only a good documentarist, you are a really good human, David, because let me tell you that I really admire all these directors that you risk your lives for your work, but also for the society, for all these ideologies, your own ideology. You are among these directors like Jafar Panahi that he recently won the Palme d'Or on Cannes for this new movie, but he's one of the directors that I really love that they fight against the system. How it's been for you now that you have this documentary? How is your perspective as a filmmaker after this documentary from Mr. Nobody Against Putin?
Well, I think this film has changed my perspective on filmmaking in many ways. I would say one interesting way that it's changed my perspective is how much you can gain by giving up some of yourself, how much you can gain by collaborating with someone. And if you would have told me 10 years ago or 5 years ago that I would be making a film and it would be going to festivals and I would co-direct it with a teacher from Karabash Primary School number one, I would have thought that would be insane. I mean, the very fact that this collaboration is happening is really, really strange and really interesting, but it's so beautiful because and it's entirely the collaboration is the film. I mean, the unique tone that the film has with being in this really, really dirty town, the most polluted town on earth, where so much terrible things are happening, but for the tone to be as it is, filled with humor and love and life, it's only possible if you're collaborating in a serious way, like truly treating Pasha as the co-director, because he is um, with Pasha. And so I mean, to honestly combine the perspectives of me, a director in Europe, and Pasha, the school teacher in Karabash, this is just what came. This is what came of it. And it really does make me think, okay, what other interesting collaborations can you do? Who else can I make a film with? Because this couldn't have turned out this turned out so unique, and it's just because it's a unique collaboration.
And I really see that you can, with all this situation, political situation that we are living and going through, not only Russia, not only America, we are going into the same package, because if we go into a real war, all of us, we are going to be affected by it. So I'm so moved for this, by this material, Mr. David. I really have a sense of appreciation for this work. And I have to say that thank you so much for this, for being so brave, because many of us, we are not that brave. We are not taking any risk. And I gotta say this, we are really doing great in this comfort, false comfort. In the meantime, that many families around the world are having so many issues. Israel against Gaza, Russia against Ukraine. We got many troubles right now, and you are the ones that you are taking risk, that you are taking the only way that is not easy. In the meantime, that we are going to the movies, we are celebrating festivals, and we are watching this in comfort, but you are on the fire right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for this work, David. I
Hmm.
really hope that you keep doing great this year. I don't know what your expectations are for the Oscars, for the Golden Globes. I don't know. I really hope that this documentary is watched for everyone in right here in Occident. So, what's next for you? Just for ending this great interview, David. What's your next work?
Well, most of my films so far that have been on the festival scene have been about propaganda and information in some way. And I'm getting more and more interested in how propaganda is used in war,
Okay.
and I'm looking into that.